Let me record. And
Got it.
now let me make sure we don't double up the voice. You hear what we do when we don't turn it off. Perfect.
So, tonight, how excited are we? We're going to talk about the third step toward riches, auto-suggestion. Continue speaking about it, as a matter of fact. And if we want to go to the book, we're going to talk about page 81, where you were instructed in the last of the 6 steps described in the chapter on desire, your goal card, to read aloud twice daily the written statement of your desire for money, and to see and feel yourself already in possession of the money.
Wow. What does that look like?
Looks pretty darn good, actually.
And when it starts to come in, whatever you're asking for, it won't be so direct. And you'll wonder, how many calls have you got from me? Why is that happening like that? Did you see this? Look at what's happening now. Like, how many calls have you had where I'm like, you're not going to believe today?
Yeah. Guess what happened? You're not going to believe it. This is crazy. Yeah. And, it's really, you live it, you feel it, and that's the key. Putting the 5 senses and your emotions to your goal card. So when they talk about see and feel yourself already in possession, that's key.
Exactly. And there's a difference between being people. There's a fine line of being a fraud.
Yes. Act as if, but don't lie about it. Don't.
Yeah. It's about you, right? It's not about anybody else. It's not like walking around and being like, well, I'm this, or I have that, or, in any case, you should never be flaunting what you have.
No, exactly.
Period. So really, it's not even about, if you were really living for yourself, wouldn't matter what other people thought. You wouldn't be trying to impress everybody. It's not about impressing everybody. It's about impressing on your mind. Impress the thought on your mind. Don't impress the world with your words. They're irrelevant.
I was looking, as you were talking, through the emails that I got from the Napoleon Hill's thought of the day. And so if anybody doesn't know about that, you can actually subscribe and get Napoleon Hill's thought for the day every single day in your email. And it doesn't cost anything, and it's wonderful. It's a great, great way to start your day on a positive note. So I'm just going to read to you one that I got, I think, yesterday or a couple of days ago. Everything you create or acquire begins in the form of desire. In order to act, you must have a purpose. If you want to act successfully in all but the most mundane affairs, you must embrace that purpose with a burning desire. Many people think they want to be successful, but since they do not back that thought with an intense drive, they never achieve success. Cultivate your desire. Feed it with thoughts of yourself, enjoying whatever it is you seek. It's like stoking the furnace of a steam engine. You need to build up enough pressure to carry yourself over hills. If your desire doesn't burn hotly enough, you'll find yourself stalled and rolling backwards. The secret to action is a red-hot desire.
Wow. It's interesting because Don Green was on a podcast. So somebody mentioned that Don Green was speaking. And everybody talks about the secret in Napoleon Hill because, have you found the secret? Do you know the secret?
Yeah.
And I've asked a few people, including his grandson, do you know what the secret is? Has he ever shared it? Right? And I find it very interesting because different people have different versions and views on what the secret is. And Don Green shared action. It's not about, yes, you can think, but it's the action, right? Action. So it's interesting his perspective.
Yeah. And I was speaking to somebody at work today about a project that we're working on, and then somebody came and said, oh no, finally, we're not going to be able to take care of that. And I was like, what? We've put in so much work already. What are you talking about? And I was very disappointed, and I was very not happy with that phrase. And then I got to come back to say, oh, well, that person is sometimes a little bit defeatist. So I told them, let's not look at the final goal. Let's do it step by step. We'll take steps 1, 2, and 3, maybe. And I said, listen, if we start with step 1, I'm good with that. I don't mind. I understand that you have to go step by step on the ladder. So these things happen in daily life, step by step, and see your goal, take action, like they were saying. And then this one says burning desire. And I love the analogy of the steam engine, stoking to make sure that you can get up those hills. You've got to get enough momentum in there. You got to get enough energy in there. I thought that was really cool. And it's obviously it stayed with me.
Yeah.
To look for it.
Well, it's very visual, right? It's
Yeah.
very visual. You could see it. You could picture it. It's descriptive. And, and that's the whole thing. When you think about the process, so we talked about the conscious and the subconscious mind. So if you think of the process, you have an idea, it's in your conscious mind, it's a thought. You put that down into your subconscious mind. Okay. And that's working 24/7. And when you least expect it, all of a sudden your conscious mind comes up with an idea. Why? Because it went out to infinite intelligence to get the answer. And I have the answer. Well, of course you have the answer. You had the idea. You buried in your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind was focused. You weren't making it chaotic. There were no contradictions. It was one thing that you wanted. You knew what you wanted. You put it there. And now all of a sudden you got the answer on how you can get it. And that's like my call to you, saying you're not going to believe it. And it's not that I don't know how it works. I know how it works, but I never know how. And yes, I have blind faith, and the faith in myself, the faith in, I'm not wasting my time on things I don't believe in or want. I do get distracted, and I'm so well surrounded. If I pick up the phone and I say, just like you see Katherine and you see Karen, if I pick up the phone and call them, I have other people as well. Our own Karen Johnson, Roxanne, Sean, we're loaded with wonderful people in book club. You got to come and check it out. And if I just for a second put doubt out there, they're going to be, what are you talking about? What do you mean? And as soon as they say that, I'm able to repeat it and say, that doesn't make too much sense, does it? And I'm able to laugh. And adversity turns into opportunities when you don't look at them with the same eyes.
I want to come back to acting as if, and I love the one of the things that you had said. So let's say you have a money goal. How is it going to feel when you have that money, because it's coming, when you take steps towards it? You talked about the bed you sleep in. How's it going to feel? So you can go out and invest in a nice pair of sheets, and a more expensive pair of sheets that you can afford today, but that you're spoiling yourself a little bit. And that's acting as if. That's a great example of acting as if.
Yes.
Getting a nice set of towels for your bathroom, and every time you take a shower, you have that nice towel that you can equate with affluence, with the affluence that fits the dollar, that fits what you're visualizing, what your goal is.
The reading the book by the ocean, the river, the wanting a trip to Italy because you want to see the architecture. So deciding to go down to see all of the churches and the stained glass, and then going for an Italian meal.
And that can start really easily with research on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to be looking at where you want to go, kind of places you're going to stay in, what's the architecture like, what are the sites that you're going to go and visit and see. All of those things will really help you to form that mental image of where it is you're going to go, what it is you're going to do. You can look at some of the restaurants and look at their menu and look at the pictures and the food that you're going to eat. So you can really bring it back and involve all of your senses.
Yes, that's so
While I
important, right?
at one point didn't have the financial ability to travel as much as I wanted to, I would go on Google Maps and drop that little banana wherever it was I wanted to see, and I'd go and turn around and I'd look and I'd see. And so my husband would laugh at me. So what are you doing? So I'm traveling. Can't travel. I want to travel. I have wanderlust. I'm traveling. I'm seeing.
And you just bring it to life in your mind. And it's not too long after they're able to say, once upon a time, I had a dream.
Yes.
Once upon a time, I read a book. Once upon a time, I made a call. And once upon a time, I took a trip down to Wise, Virginia. And once upon a time, I was in I've been reading this and I didn't even know that that was that. And then once upon a time, I wrote an exam. And once upon a time, are you getting it? It's the steps till all of a sudden, oh, my last step, community service to get that paper. Oh, I've secured it. I'm going to go and deliver these 17 principles to a group of people that lost their job in their program, a program that exists. And well, I could tell you, well, why would they want that? They have already everything they need. They do have everything they need. And all I'm doing is adding something to what is already there, which is synthetic creation,
And you're
imagination.
also adding a very important ingredient is your passion.
Yeah. And that's what I'm passionate. I really love books. I don't like them. I love them. Um, yeah. People could call me a book destroyer, but if somebody does what I do to books and I wrote the book, and I will very soon, I'm going to say, ooh, they're really getting a lot of stuff out of that book, aren't they? I better send them another copy. And if you have it in you to read a story, I wonder whether you have it in you to write a story. I think you do. I think all people have a story that needs to be told.
Yeah.
So our members will be popping in any minute. So I guess we'll stop the recording. And anybody sitting in here wondering, do I want to be in book club? Go to Sage Navigation and you'll immediately get the link. So you don't have to say goodbye. What you say is, hello, I'm here and I want to read this book. And if you don't have the book, we got you.
You just sit and listen.
And then
share.
share.
You cannot share, and you're all good. You're very, very welcome in the community.
So I'm going to stop the recording now and wish everybody a fabulous week. Next week, Karen won't be here with us because she's living her dream.
I'm traveling to Mexico.
And she loves Mexico.
I do.
So we'll wish her a wonderful trip in the sun.
Thank you. I'll try to bring it back.
Plant your feet in the sand. Have a
Oh,
wonderful week, everybody. Show up next Wednesday. Next Wednesday at 12 o'clock, we have Energize Your Life. Reach out to find out more.